So I'm just going to wait a moment because I did mention to somebody another channel that just liked my comment that I put. Um, and it'd be very interesting if it's the uploader, but either way, um, lovely and cast in the show. Um, and part of me wants to, but then again, if I'm not roll live, then you know it's somebody that might check it out afterwards, and hopefully others do as well. Um, so we all live different lifestyles. You know, we're all very similar. We're all very different in who we are and the lives that we lead on our day to day and all that. And sometimes it's very predictable, and other times maybe you know a little less routine or whatever. But um, and I feel like this point that I'm going to make, which I heard in another video, is maybe more towards the working people, but also maybe not, maybe just kind of general. So the feeling is that, sorry, it seemed like I was stuttering. I don't have a stutter. I mean, we shouldn't judge people that do, but at the same time, I don't want people to think if this guy's got a stutter, if it's the first time seeing me, that it's going to be hard watching me, or that you know it's going to distract you or something. I don't. I just was happening to seem like I do then. But the point was made about being flexible, um, and that you may not have it very much in your work life if you work, but to have it in your home life. I think it depends on what and how much, but I think that that's a good point, though. All of that. Um, I could have watched the rest of the video. I honestly, truly could have. I have a bunch of stuff beside me on the couch. I see the cords for headphones, but I'm not sure where the actual headphones are. I don't really even like wearing headphones, and G doesn't really use them very much either. Um, but that kind of is also what started this video, what prompted this video, to be honest, is that um, it's a rainy day here, and I know that G is going to, of the DNC, is going to want to do some housework, clutter. I admit it's a little messy, but I have been working on it a bit. It's not my favorite thing though. I'd rather be distracted and doing other things online, and I, not to toot my own bugle, but I am very smart, and I have a lot of skills and abilities. However, organizing, it depends what we're organizing. But a lot of times I struggle with the executive functioning. Um, you know, we can help each other out. That's what this one of the things that this channel is about, aside from the music, is kind of like helping each other um, with suggestions that one can either take or not, or somewhat, you know. Um, but it is on my mind because I mean, this guy's kind of bright, but he kind of has high standards as to what is called a sunny day. Like it's not dark clouds, so I'm saying it's kind of sunny, but it's certainly also gloomy and rainy. Um, but I know that that's something that he's going to want to do. Um, and since he isn't as likely to be outside today, um, and he's been putting it off for a while, and it's just this is a home that we both live in, and so yes, I do want us both to be comfortable and happy, but I would say mostly we are, and nothing's perfect. So I would say that our environment is fairly cozy. It's lived in. I mean, it's true. A lot of the stuff laying around is stuff that I kind of ignore. But it's not stuff that's super urgent, important. It's not like I always ignore it. And yeah, I'm, you know, we need to just kind of relax and have enjoyable distractions sometimes in our life. Now, it's true though that currently with my life, I mean, I have more of that or I mean, yeah, it's more of a struggle. Um, and yeah, people need to learn that. That's all I can say. Oh, right, that. Okay, can you stop? I don't really care about your grammar. Sorry, I went to a different tab and I shouldn't have because now it's frozen and I have to do this shit. Just figure out how to write. Not that hard. Sorry, I don't mean to be mean to anybody that uses Grammarly, but seriously, like I think a lot of people are are lazy. I'm not the only one who said it too. Okay, I'm not seeing that comment, so I'm going to put it again. Okay, I almost didn't see it. I do, but I'd like to fix that. Um, yeah. And I know I say this whole thing about being flexible, but I guess it's like when it, and yeah, I have to decide when I'm going to play those songs. You know that book, and yeah, that channel. It's like yeah, when it's comfortable, when it's comfortable to me, um, pretty much. Um, feel like I want to put this coffee in the fridge so you can look at the nice art while I do some. How's that? How's that for you? And it feels like it's even though it seems like it's still just as kind of bright outside. It feels like it's darker in the room. I mean, I know what vacuum but that's all he wants to do. So yeah, if it's sorry for the lighting. I mean, I have the light on in the room now. It almost looks darker now, which is kind of odd. It just yeah. And unfortunately, our mental health supports aren't always great locally, and I mostly have acquaintances these days, and not a lot of living local family. Um, plus, it's stressful, and when you do see these people, you want to enjoy it, and it's not necessarily about clutter as much as it is each other and your time, your visit, together. Um, but we don't have any likely plans. I mean, did post today about the sister, um, and that post has been doing pretty well. Um, so I don't know, if there's going to be a visit planned or not. But um, oh, I just want to check one other thing. It's about 11:30 here, so and it's something that also kind of annoys me. That I found out about an opportunity. somebody was working on a film. I don't know much about it. I don't really know them. They seem to be very political on their page, but um, and uh, I hate to say it, but this person seems to be anti-American. I mean, I know what the politics are like there right now, but uh, like the guy's picture comes across as like you know hating all of the states, you know, and not everything is bad, you know. But anyway, he was looking for not somebody to be in his film, but just to kind of help and basically to direct and boss around. But he was going to provide light snacks and drink and possibly transportation. Now I'd rather be in the thing, I think, although I don't know what it is really. And to be bossed around isn't always a great feeling. But and I don't know if he posted it anywhere else, but he posted it in a group that I'm in, and it only had one like. Um, I don't know. Maybe he only needed one person, and she was female, so I don't know if that affected his choice or not. I mean, pick a bro. But anyway, so he'd asked us to send a message, and we have, and or he. It was weird. It was on one site, and he was asking for an email. Thinking about it now, that might be his way of getting some. But I also thought to myself that maybe it is just kind of so he keeps that stuff there in his social for his friends and family. Um, Anywho, um, and I noticed I saw it late last night, and I noticed that the date for it was yesterday and today though. Some of it within the city, some of it not. But ironically, at a beach that is kind of famous for being a certain type of beach, from what I recall, and also um, um, the name is a bit ironic. But anywho, so I haven't heard anything, and he said probably starting around 10 or 11, and it's 11:30, so it's looking like that might not be happening. I'm hoping that he might have another upcoming project soon, and maybe we can get in on that opportunity. Uh, because the opportunities are not super often, and sometimes like we did nothing wrong. He just hasn't gotten back to us. I didn't say a whole lot. I just expressed interest. I said that he mentioned that he could possibly provide transportation to the person who volunteers to help out. I said we might appreciate that, and I said we do live together, the two of us that are interested. And I asked a bit to know a bit more about the film. Although then, what are we going to talk about in the car? No, I didn't say it that way, but I mean, now I'm starting to wonder, or is he just busy and had the help he needed and didn't hasn't even noticed yet? I did mention about the this thing. Um, that we don't have any plans today, really. I'm also going to add, I mean, if he's not the type of person that doesn't, you know, if this happens to be the case, it doesn't say we've already finished. Thanks for your interest, and just says to himself we've already finished. So I guess I don't need to reply to that. That would annoy me, but I want him to know that I'm open to other opportunities. So, but it's kind of stressful that that didn't happen today, especially since we didn't have to worry about going out anywhere. We could be picked up to do this. This guy is a bit bright, but I think he's probably good. He's probably gonna be downstairs too, and it's still wet and kind of cool. But yeah, and it would have been something to do, and perhaps kind of fun and interesting. But oops. Um, but yeah, how do you handle stress in the view of like, oh, well, instantly being asked a question? I don't know. Who knows? Who knows why? May not have even been a good reason or personal. I always try and remember that, but yeah, um, I'm not sure if I have much else on the topic, to be honest. I'm gonna try to think of some because I mentioned something that I don't know if I'd say I'm stressed about it, but that was on my mind, and that I guess you could say maybe a little bit. Uh, um, but yeah, it's like part of me wants to listen to more of this video. To I don't know if TikTok would be copyrighted or not. That's the thing. What I could do, although, well, let's see if it even loads first. And I think I had search results selected to a certain spot, but not super far down. What I could do is yoga. Just kidding. Is make it full size, and even though I'm recording, it's got captioning, and I don't want to say things that I maybe don't agree with. Um, but at least I can kind of see what he's saying and kind of work with that because nobody else is saying anything yet. It's only 18 minutes in, but yeah, basically he is seeming to be mentioning how flexibility at work helps when you feel like you don't have a very flexible type of work environment. And I just realized that he's sitting here talking about flexibility and doing yoga. I hadn't watched more than like 7 or 8 minutes, and I registered that he was doing talking about a yoga pose. But when you have, but that's not what I necessarily mean by flexible. But if you can't have flexibility otherwise, do yoga. I don't know. But was saying that because if you feel like you don't have it at work, then you want it at home, or then you. It's interesting. I say that, and what comes to mind is like, especially with how I said it there, it's kind of like if you don't have it at work, you want it at home, but you also want more to be more in control, or you know, school or whatever. Um, and so, I guess it's finding the balance, right? Um, And when you're always doing things in a high paced speed, you know, is that necessarily a good thing? I mean, it can be, but it can also not be. That's an interesting quote. I mean, he's saying it in this video, which kind of is on this theme. When you're healthy, you have 1,000 wishes. When you're sick, you only have one, which I would imagine is to get better or die. I don't know. um, um, so can I see if there's anything else? Meditation. This sparks an interesting question. What he's kind of saying, very kind of an interesting question. At what charge level, if you were to say out of 100%, what would you say you're running on in your life most of the time? And what do you feel like you need to be running on? Don't say 100% because that's very unlikely. I would even say 90 is quite unlikely. Even 80 is pushing it. 70. Personally, I'd like to be more at 50. That seems like a very balanced spot to be, and I'm sometimes there, but not as often as I would like, I think. But somewhat, my lifestyle doesn't really need me to be. Which, and if I was to, you know, up that, then I need to have things in place, uh, making me do so, and fueling the passion and knowing that things were going to succeed. I mean, right now, I can't really handle otherwise. There's been enough of that. I mean, it's not all I get, but mostly and lately, you know, and it's not necessarily anything I'm doing wrong, but yeah, I just have plenty of that. Um, and also, uh, you know, like he's mentioning things about how good work environment with good coworkers who encourage you, you know, um, and say that you did well with something or whatever. Um, and even at home, perhaps the best of you from your heart each and every day. You change the world one life at a time. Deep breath of fresh air, inside, outside. Air, aspiration, integration, rejuvenation. how to get fired up about a job, whether if you like it and you enjoy doing it, that helps. And just about life in general, how to keep feeling that spark. Um, I haven't been rolling super long. This may again, I say it when I somewhat feel it, but at the same time, I don't entirely feel it. But this may not be my best video that I've done recently. Uh, I don't think I've ever done my worst. I mean, there's always good within. I feel like, and hopefully you see that. Hopefully, you find things that you like about it, about whatever video you're watching of mine. I'm just going to quickly look at this one's chapters, kind of similar to the topic too. Um, I mean, this is very short, this chapter. I kind of just want to play it out loud. But whoops, we do have somebody here. Sorry, I was just briefly playing something because it was kind of quiet here. They left. You know what? I'm going to wrap up. I think I'm noticing other chapters that in this that I'm both really quite curious about. I thought I'd seen this video before, but also I'm not really sure um, exactly how I'd necessarily bring this into the topic. So stay tuned. I might do a part two. I guess you could say this one was because the other one had if equality. I'd be tempted to delete it. It was only about 6 to 7 minutes long, but again, I bet you there was at least 2 or 3 minutes that were worthwhile to keep it. And I find the editing tool quite confusing and complicated, to be honest. Um, One of us in the house knows how to make photo slideshows and add music to it, but not as a live. So I don't know. Maybe we'll look at doing that today. Anyway, I hope everybody's doing well and take care. And feel free to check out some of the other videos on the live streams. Okay, bye for now. Remember to be good to each other. Take care.